Welcome back, folks. This is the Lighthead Online Video Show. Today's show is brought to you by Keystone Technologies. Go to Keystonetech.com, baby. KeystoneTech.com, the Retrofit Kings. And we're talking about probably, Greg, one of their fastest moving products. We're going to talk about LED TA tubes.
Yeah, I would say for sure their fastest moving product. It's something that they have a lot of options for, and there's a lot of need for it. So, of course, people are buying it, and it's moving.
The Retrofit Kings, go to KeystoneTech.com. They got all the LED tubes you can dream of or imagine, son. Keystonetech.com. Greg, where are we going with this whole T8 LED tube thing? I think they are here to stay. We haven't got to the end development of them. Maybe there's more lumens per watt. Maybe the final version, double-ended, single-ended ballast, whatever it is, has yet to be developed, but they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, I think I definitely feel they're here to stay, and it's something that, we really started selling more than fluorescent probably 3 years ago, now 2 years, something like that.
Give or take.
And now it's, well exceeded any fluorescent sales. I know there are still fluorescents out there, but to me it seems inevitable that everybody's going to go either LED built-in purpose-built fixture or an LED tube in place of their existing fluorescents. So with that said, I've got a question for you, I guess. Have you, over the time that you've sold LED tubes, have you changed what your thought is in terms of type A, type B single end, type B double end, type C, type D? What have you been looking at on your side?
The thing so initially everything was bypass for us. Mm-hmm. And then what happened in our situation was the rebate said no bypass. So ended up with
type B. Sorry,
type B. Type B bypass. We should probably say it every time because it can get confusing for people out there. I'm still confused. Right. I like the idea of bypass. I thought, well, you're just changing a light bulb. This makes so much sense, right? And so we were smashing those in everywhere. But I think my real learning has happened as being the host of this show, which is the reason why we started it in the first place. You and I wanted to interview more interesting people in lighting and kind of get ahead. So we started a podcast and everyone started listening to it. So it went great, Yep. But we weren't expecting that. But now it turns out that lots of people are interested in the same things we are and want to listen to the same people we are, and we happen to ask the right questions. But, when it switched to ballast, I really recommitted to the ballast when the flicker thing came out. For me, that's when I thought, man, I'm so glad that 95% of the LED tubes I've sold are ballast compatible LED tubes. Because now I don't have this thing in the back of my gut where it's like, oh man, I hate it when I'm wrong about a lighting thing. I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're going to be here for the long run, and then down the road when you think about it, it can be an issue for sure.
Yeah, it's like, so how did I get that wrong? It's like, I should have known that, but because I'm a skeptic, dude. And that's why people like my way of thinking about things, because I don't believe anything. And I really, luckily the rebate program came out, and for the wrong reasons, I think this moved bypass to the side for the wrong reasons, but it ended up being good in the end for me, because the vast majority of the LED tubes I've sold have been type A ballast compatible.
And you're doing that because a utility company is mandating that, basically. Do you think in your market that you'll come through at some point and cut the ballast out if the flicker issue is addressed to your liking?
So if somebody, so I have a manufacturer where they don't have any, they have an empty factory. They were building it, and we just started building it for them, and they wanted very simple maintenance moving forward. They didn't buy into the promises of LEDs lasting forever and all this sort of stuff. I sat down and talked to them. I just said, look, you're gonna have to repair stuff. So we ended up going with a bypass LED double-ended system for them in traditional fluorescent fixtures, which was very low cost for them, very high performance, and lots of light, and cost them very little, and they're all flicker free. So we're very happy about that installation, and it looks fantastic. They don't have the cachet of people knowing for sure that it's LED. So when someone walks into their factory, it's not like, oh yeah, look at those great LED lights, but they are LED and they are energy efficient and they can be fixed easily. And for example, we already had a couple tubes that weren't working right, and we had to change them out. So very simple to fix it. I really like the idea in lighting, and I think lighting should keep this idea of modular components being fit together. In the past, we had these NEMA standards where a CFL bases had to be made to a certain way. You couldn't customize a CFL base for yourself. You had to make it according to this pre-Jaga format. That's what Jaga's about, dude. This pre-Jaga format, and you couldn't make anything else. You know, the LED industry has basically gone cowboy, and everybody does whatever the heck they want, and you know, they're not thinking long. They're believing their own bullshit. They're believing their own bull crap, and you know, it's like, listen, there's going to be problems. You're going to have burnouts. You're best with a modular LED system where you can change the components. That's my opinion.
Now, if you like the Type A and the ballast compatible because of the flicker, why wouldn't you think about Type C?
Dual mode?
Type C, where you have the external driver that's purpose built for that LED tube.
Oh, that's
versus a fluorescent ballast.
To me, that's like, okay, where are you going to get that driver?
True. Well, I think they're becoming more compatible with each other's tubes, but that is a good question and something we've done some testing on our end and starting to find that out, because as some of these companies that made Type C, you know, we have bought and sold some companies some Type C that has gone away.
Okay, let me ask you this:
making it.
How many of those Type C manufacturers are either out of business or no longer making Type C LED tubes?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Is the ones that are out of business are no longer making it. So now you need a driver that does work.
Didn't pass the Mikey smells test, buddy. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. You're going to be in this forever, are you? Yeah. That's what I heard. I heard about that.
Yep.
Yeah. I was born.
So no,
I was born on September the 6th, but not in 2018, son.
Had some experience at it, but
yes.
Yeah. Back to the point of just LED tubes in general. I know we kind of bounce a lot of this off each other, but it is something that just makes more sense to be really future proof, because you can continue to, as the technology advances and the lumens per watt increase and the efficiencies increase, you can then easily change it out. Right now, when you have a
hang on. Whoa.
What do you got?
Before you go any further, you got to define what future proof is for Michael and Greg, and what future proof is for other end of the business. Okay? So what future proof is for someone at the other end of the business is, if you ever decide to go IoT, these fixtures will work, right? That's what future proof is on that end. Future proof for Michael and Greg, who sell light bulbs every day, is, hey, if your light bulb burns out, you can put another one in there and it will work. Right. And if there's something better that comes along, you can change out really easily. That's what we're talking about when we say future proof, correct?
Yeah. Yes. And we have it in stock, or it's available, or we know what it is that you need. If you have a purpose-built fixture and something goes out, we don't know what it is most of the time. We can assume a driver, then we try to find the driver.
No. What it's going to be is take down the fixture. I'll come pick it up and see if I can do anything with it.
Yeah.
And that's going to cost you $150.
Right.
Know, whatever. So, I mean, yeah, dude. So, like, a future-proof, the idea of future-proofing for IoT would be the equivalent of buying a sound system and saying, yeah, you know what? In 2001, and saying, yeah, don't worry, this is going to be compatible with anything. We've even created a special connection for that thing called an iPod. So in case they can ever connect an iPod to this is the same connector that goes into an iPod. Well, guess what, son? Exactly.
Right.
Which is exactly the sound system I have in my house. I have like a 2005 latest and greatest whole home audio system in my home that works great with an original iPod. Find one of those for me, buddy.
Yeah. So future proof it by doing LED tubes.
Exactly. That's a real future proof, son. Do LED tubes. You know, I'm not saying it's for every. I'm not saying that LED tubes are. You should do that all the time. Some of these fixtures, like that Kurtzon comes out with, and other guys come out with, where they, other companies come out with, where the emission of light by LEDs is probably LED arrays is far superior to an LED tube, though.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Glare and flicker are not an issue a lot of times. They can be with tubes. So yeah.
No, but I mean also the emitting of the light. You know, if you really want to make a swanky office and deploy LEDs to make really cool fixtures and stuff like that, you can't do that with LED tubes. But what I'm talking about is the average office out there that's got 4-lamp T8 in there, smashing some LED tubes, son. You're good to go.